Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars video. Sort of. Today we are once again looking at fan projects over here on EcksToo, and to be honest, I'm really happy that this has become a sort of normal type of video for this channel because I just love pointing people towards awesome fan creations in the Star Wars community, and trust me when I say that there are a lot of them. Anyway, before we begin, I just recently finished my playthrough of the Jedi Academy, the final game in the Jedi Knight series, and I'm kind of wondering which game should we stream next on the channel. Let me know your suggestion down below, and if you want to vote on which one of your suggestions we play through on the channel, consider joining the Patreon. Even a donation of $2 will get you voting rights for future streams. Anyway, Star Wars Dark Empire is one of the most interesting but also controversial comics in the Star Wars expanded universe. It tells the story of Palpatine returning in a clone body after the Battle of Endor, powered by new fleets and super weapons, and of course eventually defeated by the ordinary gang of heroes. And if you think that sounds a bit like the sequel trilogy, well, you're not wrong. But Dark Empire exists in a sort of weird place because it was created around the same time as the Thrawn trilogy, and the Star Wars expanded universe chose to follow that series of books, and the comics admittedly fell a little bit to the wayside, but they still have a lot of hardcore fans, especially because of the artwork, which in Dark Empire and Dark Empire 2 is just phenomenal, and the sort of tone that doesn't really exist in other Star Wars works. There's something very foreboding and at times disturbing about certain Dark Empire panels. It forgoes the space opera feeling of the original trilogy, in my opinion, and all of that is captured phenomenally in the fan project that we'll be talking about today. So we'll be looking at Dark Empire 1, Destiny of a Jedi by WilkinsAnimations, and of course I've linked to this video in the upper right hand corner and down in the description. Make sure you go blow up this channel and its views. Right now the video only has about 100,000 views and the channel about 7,000 subscribers. I think we need to improve that. I've been watching Wilkins' career with great interest for some time, and before the episode actually released, he posted many trailers and work in progress scenes from his Dark Empire animation, and it's been really fascinating to see how things have changed and improved, leading of course to the first episode, which we can now freely view. And I've also spoken to the creator a few times. He's a really nice guy, and if you guys are interested, I'm quite positive I can get him on for an interview on the channel. Anyway, WilkinsAnimations is going through and remaking every single issue of the Dark Empire series. So the episode we'll be looking at today covers issue 1 of Dark Empire 1. In total, there are 6 issues of Dark Empire 1 and 2, plus 3 issues of Empire's End, the third part of Dark Empire. So there's a lot for him to cover, and we should really show him our support so he's motivated to do so. So as I said, the first episode of his Dark Empire series is basically a recreation of the comic, and it actually uses audio from the not super well known nowadays audio production of Dark Empire. So this is just as close as we'll ever get to a Dark Empire film or whatever else. So let's take a look, and if you know Dark Empire, the first thing you'll probably recognize when watching this video is that WilkinsAnimations has done a really phenomenal job of recreating the art of Cam Kennedy. Cam Kennedy, the artist for Dark Empire 1 and 2, is a really famous comic book artist. He did a phenomenal job on these works, and we get lots of iconic scenes which we see recreated in full motion in the comic. Seeing them paired with music just takes it to a whole nother level and really elevates this project to a level that we don't see very often. From the very first scene when the Millennium Falcon and Nebulon B come out of hyperspace, you realize that this is basically the comic book come to life. We've got the same pastels and watercolors and interesting shapes, which define the Dark Empire comic, but now fully recreated and animated. And there's so much charm here. Like the characters, Han for example, is almost exactly like his animation within the Star Wars Holiday Special. And I know you might be thinking, if you haven't seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, but you know its reputation, you're probably wondering why that's a good thing. Well, the Holiday Special does suck, but there are some really cool animations within. That's where we first saw Boba Fett, by the way, and Han really reminds me of his appearance in there, and I think that was probably a direct inspiration. Taking a different approach to character faces was a really good idea because, in my opinion, Cam Kennedy's weakness in Dark Empire 1 and 2 is his actual character animations. Anyway, I'm going to avoid going over every single scene in this animation because it's really worth sitting down and appreciating, and I think that it really deserves your views. But for those who don't know, Dark Empire issue 1 starts with the New Republic returning to Coruscant. At this point, a massive Imperial fleet has emerged from the deep core, basically taken over large swaths of the galaxy, but has also been shorn apart by infighting and a new Imperial civil war. And when the good guys return to Coruscant, which they lost during this opening blitz of Operation Shadow Hand, it's a complete war zone. The comic does an excellent job of capturing that, as does this animation. One of the most impressive scenes in the entire animation is that iconic scene with the XR-85 tank droid facing an Imperial splinter group. It sort of encapsulates that Dark Empire feeling, which again is just completely different from how the Star Wars Expanded Universe ended up. Funny enough, the music from the audio production actually works really well to contribute to this overall feeling, so I'm very happy that it was added here. There are also some really cool artistic decisions made here. One example would be the inclusion of battle droids as part of this battle. Dark Empire 1, of course, came out far before Episode 1, so that's not something that would have been possible upon original release, but which makes total sense in this animation. I think the two most iconic scenes in Dark Empire issue 1 are when Luke stands down the AT-AT and of course defeats it easily with the power of the Force, and when Palpatine, although not known to the reader, launches the Force Storm, which devastates the New Republic ships in orbit and transports Luke away from the planet. First of all, I really enjoy the 3D effect they use on the ship. It just fits perfectly, it's goofy in the right way, and both those scenes are recreated with so much love and really manage to capture the spirit of the source material, as does really this entire animation. Is it without issues? No, I think the major concern here is that while the audio is great, it does have some shortcomings. So it was a full audio production of Dark Empire. What that means is that it took the story and adapted it to an audio drama. This is different than an audiobook, which is literally a reading of the book and with nothing changed. Audio productions are different because they have to take a usually visual medium and convert it into something that works with audio only. What does that mean? Well, there's lots of explanation that's not needed when you're actually seeing something. And there's no narrator or anything like that, it's all just characters talking. So when Luke takes down the AT-AT, you have a conversation between him and Lando explaining exactly what happens. This obviously isn't necessary if you're watching an animation and does come off as a little bit weird, but it's hard for the creator to edit around this because it would disrupt the flow of music and whatever else. It's just a bit redundant to see an AT-AT come out of a building and have Lando say, "Luke, be careful, there's an AT-AT that just came out of that building," and then a discussion of what's happening. But it also kind of works for the format. It's not a huge issue, and I think the real star here is the art, the personality that this animation has, and more. But guys, that's all I want to share with you today. I really encourage you to check out Wilkins Animation. The YouTube channel is in the upper right hand corner and down in the description. Again, let's support these people making awesome Star Wars works. Now, I'm actually quite a big fan of Dark Empire 1. I think 2 and especially 3 are a bit of a letdown, but the first 6 issues are really well done. So it's so cool to see them come to life with just so much love and care. But guys, that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, this has been EckhartsLadder. Please be safe, and may the Force be with you.